record this session and yes, thank you so much. Okay, record this session and the recording you send it to me later on. Okay,
Okay, sir.
so just now what did we see? We saw about how sodium and chloride ions are formed, how they are forming electrostatic forces of attraction, how they are forming ionic bond. Now to the basics and to that what we go an extra mile ahead of the ionic bond. So pay attention over here. इलेक्ट्रोनेगेटिविटी के बारे में मैंने आपको बताया इलेक्ट्रोनेगेटिविटी इज द पावर with which the nucleus attracts a shared pair of electrons towards itself. Electronegativity is the power with which the nucleus attracts a shared pair of electrons towards itself. So क्लोरीन की जो इलेक्ट्रोनेगेटिविटी है वो 3.5 है. सर आपको कैसे पता चला? मैंने फाइंड आउट नहीं किया है, मेरे को पता भी नहीं चला है. These are your एक्सपेरिमेंटली डिटरमाइंड वैल्यूज. मैंने डिटरमाइन नहीं किया है, साइंटिस्ट ने एक्सपेरिमेंट करके उसको डिटरमाइन किया है. राइट, सो दीज आर द एक्सपेरिमेंटल वैल्यूज. राइट, दीज आर व्हाट एक्सपेरिमेंटल वैल्यूज. क्लोरीन का 3.5 है, दिस इज द एक्सपेरिमेंटल वैल्यू. एंड yes Anushka, you are right. So 0.8 is the experimental value for sodium. राइट, तो सोडियम की इलेक्ट्रोनेगेटिविटी कितनी है? 0.8. और क्लोरीन की इलेक्ट्रोनेगेटिविटी कितनी है? 3.5. सो इफ आई फाइंड आउट द electronegativity difference, right? Now for some children it's like bounces is going above the head. What are you doing? See, what am I doing is you have already done the ionic bond, but I'm telling you some more extra features about ionic bond. Try to understand it. Okay, so what are we going to do over here is sodium and chloride इनके electronegativities निकाल रहे हैं. Electronegativity क्या है? Electronegativity is the power with which the nucleus attracts a shared pair of electrons towards itself. A nucleus attracts a shared pair of electrons towards itself. अभी मैं बोल रहा हूँ कि क्लोरीन इलेक्ट्रोनेगेटिव है, फ्लोरीन इलेक्ट्रोनेगेटिव है, ब्रोमीन इलेक्ट्रोनेगेटिव है, आयोडीन इलेक्ट्रोनेगेटिव है. बट इलेक्ट्रोनेगेटिव तो है, बट कितना इलेक्ट्रोनेगेटिव है? सर वो इलेक्ट्रोनेगेटिविटी की वैल्यू तो बताओ हमको कि वो कितना ज्यादा इलेक्ट्रोनेगेटिव है. राइट, तो कितना इलेक्ट्रोनेगेटिव है, ये जो वैल्यूज है ये साइंटिस्ट ने डिटरमाइन करके रखी है. ओके, एक सेकेंड. We have removed the 40-minute time limit on your next group meeting. Love it. Okay, fine. So even if this session gets disconnected because I'm not using my regular ID जो हमारा fixed link है हमेशा जो हम लोग use करते हैं वो use नहीं कर रहा हूँ. Again, reason is that my that ID is being used by my 11th standard teachers. 11th standard का class अभी उस ID पे चल रहा है. So that's an unending, never-ending ID, right? It does not get cut. But if this session gets cut after 40 minutes, please rejoin on the same link. Please rejoin on the same link. Okay, फाइन. सो END तो इलेक्ट्रोनेगेटिविटी वैल्यू, इलेक्ट्रोनेगेटिविटी की वैल्यू हम लोग ने निकाली कि कितना इलेक्ट्रोनेगेटिव है. तो ये 3.5 की इलेक्ट्रोनेगेटिविटी रखता है, ये 0.8 की इलेक्ट्रोनेगेटिविटी रखता है. अब इन इलेक्ट्रोनेगेटिविटी का हम लोग डिफरेंस निकालेंगे. सो उससे क्या पता चलेगा? देखो क्या पता चलेगा. सो END इलेक्ट्रोनेगेटिविटी डिफरेंस, डिफरेंस निकाल रहे हैं 3.5 माइनस 0.8. आंसर इज 2.7. So whenever your END electronegativity difference, whenever your electronegativity difference goes above 1.8, ladies and gentlemen, when it goes above 1.8, this is an END scale. क्या है ये? END scale. Yehoshua, Yehoshua,
Yes, sir.
are you aware of something called as pH scale? Are you aware of something called as pH scale जिसमें आपने सीखा है कि this particular thing is acidic, this particular thing is basic, this particular thing is neutral?
Yes.
Have you heard about the pH scale? 0 to
Yes.
7 is acidic pH, right? तो जैसा pH scale होता है वैसे ही END scale भी होता है. Now जैसे pH scale, if I give you lemon, तो lemon is sour, right? Sour is the wrong pronunciation, by the way. Sour is the right pronunciation. Sour is the right pronunciation. We have seen that in acids and bases. So वो sour खट्टा रहेगा, it will be acidic. Then if I give you uh, instead of lemon, if I give you karela, bitter gourd, right? Karela. So karela is bitter because it is basic. Okay, so we'll have that pH scale 0 to 7 acidic, then 7 to 14 basic, and exactly 7 neutral. Similarly, we are going to have something called as the END scale. Similarly, we are going to have something called as the END scale. So in END scale, if your END crosses 1.8, ladies and gentlemen, if your END crosses 1.8, राइट। इफ योर END क्रॉसेस 1.8, 1.8 से अगर ज्यादा हो जाता है, कौन END 1.8 के ऊपर चला जाता है, राइट, 1.8 से ज्यादा ऊपर चला जाता है, then the bond formed is ionic bond. Then the bond formed is what? Ionic bond. Okay, then the bond formed is ionic bond. Yeah, yes Anushka, you're right. The bond formed is ionic bond. Why is it the ionic bond? Yes ladies and gentlemen, why is it the ionic bond? ओके, क्यों? ध्यान से देखना। अब ये जो 2.7 की वैल्यू है या 1.8 से ज्यादा कब होगी, कोई भी, अभी इसकी वैल्यू तो ऑब्वियसली 1.8 से ज्यादा, तो डेफिनेटली दिस इज गोइंग टू फॉर्म एन आयोनिक बॉन्ड, नो डाउट दिस इज गोइंग टू फॉर्म एन आयोनिक बॉन्ड, ठीक है, नो डाउट। बट ये 1.8 के ऊपर कब जाता है, या 2 के ऊपर, या 2.7 कब आता है? ये तब आता है जब आपका नॉन मेटल, सी आयोनिक बॉन्ड समझने की कोशिश करो, इट इज ऑलवेज फॉर्म बिटवीन अ नॉन मेटल एंड मेटल। मेटल और नॉन मेटल के बीच में आयोनिक बॉन्ड फॉर्म होता है। मेटल कौन है? मेटल यहाँ पे हमारा सोडियम था, सोडियम के साथ था, लेस इलेक्ट्रोनेगेटिव था। अब सोडियम लेस इलेक्ट्रोनेगेटिव था, इसकी वजह से क्या हो गया, आज सोडियम वाज लेस इलेक्ट्रोनेगेटिव, सोडियम इजीली गेव अवे द इलेक्ट्रॉन्स, एंड क्लोरीन, सी देखना ना, ये दोनों का डिफरेंस जो है, ये डिफरेंस बड़ा नंबर कब आएगा? बड़ा नंबर तब आएगा जब हमारे पास एक छोटा नंबर है, छोटा नंबर विल बी सब्ट्रैक्टेड बाय द सॉरी, बड़ा नंबर विल बी सब्ट्रैक्टेड बाय द छोटा नंबर, देन वील गेट अ सिग्निफिकेंट वैल्यू। सो इन शॉर्ट मेरे को बताना क्या है कि ये नॉन मेटल यानी कि क्लोरीन, इसकी इलेक्ट्रोनेगेटिविटी जितनी ज्यादा होगी और मेटल मेटल की इलेक्ट्रोनेगेटिविटी जितनी कम होगी, उतना ये END का वैल्यू ज्यादा है। द हायर वैल्यू, greater is its the greater is the electronegativity of the non-metal and smaller is the electronegativity of the metal, then only what is going to happen, then only your END is going to cross 1.8, in this case it has become 2.7. so ये इसकी इलेक्ट्रोनेगेटिविटी ज्यादा है, इसकी इलेक्ट्रोनेगेटिविटी कम है, तभी ये डिफरेंस ज्यादा आता है। इसी का मतलब है कि इसकी इलेक्ट्रोनेगेटिविटी ज्यादा है, मतलब ये ताकत से इलेक्ट्रॉन खींच लेगा। किससे इलेक्ट्रॉन खींच लेगा? सोडियम से इलेक्ट्रॉन खींच लेगा। और इसकी इलेक्ट्रोनेगेटिविटी कम है, तभी तो इसका डिफरेंस ज्यादा आने वाला है, तो तभी इलेक्ट्रॉन ट्रांसफर होगा। और आयोनिक बॉन्ड का बॉटम लाइन है, आयोनिक बॉन्ड का बॉटम लाइन है इलेक्ट्रॉन ट्रांसफर। जब इलेक्ट्रॉन ट्रांसफर होते हैं तभी आयोनिक बॉन्ड कंसिडर किया जाता है। इलेक्ट्रॉन ट्रांसफर नहीं हुए तो देयर इज नो आयोनिक बॉन्ड, राइट। कोवैलेंट में देखा था, देयर वाज नो ट्रांसफर ऑफ इलेक्ट्रॉन्स, कार्बन हाइड्रोजन इलेक्ट्रॉन शेयर कर रहे थे। सो इलेक्ट्रॉन जब ट्रांसफर होते हैं तभी आयोनिक बॉन्ड फॉर्म होता है, एंड दैट इज द रीजन व्हाई 1.8 के ऊपर जाते ही द बॉन्ड फॉर्म्ड इज व्हाट? आयोनिक बॉन्ड। 1.8 के ऊपर जा रहा है एंड द बॉन्ड फॉर्म्ड इज व्हाट? Ionic bond. Are you understanding? Right, NaCl में the END crossed 1.8 and hence the bond formed is ionic bond. Did you understand this? Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all age,
Yes, sir.
have you understood this?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
So right, so now if your END is 0 or close to 0, if your END is 0 or close to 0, then what's going to happen? The bond which is going to be formed is covalent bond. So END scale, ये END scale है ladies and gentlemen, END scale को मैं देख के बता सकता हूँ कि अगर 0 के नजदीक है the bond is going to form covalent bond, अगर 0.9 के नजदीक है so the bond formed is going to be polar covalent bond. What is polar covalent bond? What is covalent bond? बताता हूँ। Like chlorine molecule Cl2, ये Cl, ये Cl, इसकी इलेक्ट्रोनेगेटिविटी 3.5, इसकी भी इलेक्ट्रोनेगेटिविटी 3.5, END में निकालू, END will be 3.5, electronegativity difference 3.5 minus 3.5 is equal to 0, right? Now both are having equal electronegativity, both, when I subtract both the answer is coming 0, and when it is 0 the bond formed is covalent bond. You know why? Because it's like a tug of war. Okay, it's like a tug of war between two equally powerful teams. क्लोरीन के पास यहाँ पे 1 2 3 4 5 6 और 7 इलेक्ट्रॉन्स है, ये वाले क्लोरीन के पास भी 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 इलेक्ट्रॉन्स है, दोनों के पास 7 इलेक्ट्रॉन्स है, दोनों भी इक्वल पावर से, इक्वल इलेक्ट्रोनेगेटिविटी से इलेक्ट्रॉन्स खींच रहे। सो इफ टू इक्वली पावरफुल टीम्स, if two equally powerful teams play tug of war, which team is going to win? Which team is
It
going to
will
win?
be tie. It will be
It will
tie.
be a tie. No team will win because two equally powerful teams, when they are playing tug of war, because the rope is experiencing equal power from both the ends, the rope is not going to move to that side, nor is it going to move to this side, because the power is equal. So electrons, ये इसके इलेक्ट्रॉन लेना चाहता है बट नहीं ले पाएगा, ये क्लोरीन इसके इलेक्ट्रॉन्स लेना चाहता है बट नहीं ले पाएगा. क्यों नहीं ले पाएगा? क्योंकि ये जैसा वो इधर सोडियम क्लोराइड में किया था ना इसने, कि वो हम लोगों ने डायग्राम में देखा था, पीपीटी में देखा था कि इलेक्ट्रॉन्स यहाँ से उड़ी मार के गए, सोडियम से ट्रांसफर हुए इलेक्ट्रॉन्स. वैसे क्लोरीन सोडियम के इलेक्ट्रॉन खींच सकता है, बट क्लोरीन दूसरे क्लोरीन के इलेक्ट्रॉन नहीं खींच सकता, बिकॉज दूसरा क्लोरीन भी तो उतना ही पावरफुल है. मैं भी रानी तू भी रानी, कौन भरेगा घर का पानी, right? So both are equally powerful. These are two equally powerful teams playing tug of war. इसकी वजह से none of the teams are going to win. None of the teams are going to win. None of the chlorines will be successful in pulling electrons. So what they will have to do, ultimately they will have to share those electrons, right? Ultimately they will have to share those electrons, and when they will share those electrons, तो क्या होगा? They will form covalent bond. What they will form? What? कोवैलेंट बॉन्ड. सो दोनों इलेक्ट्रॉन्स शेयर करेंगे. अब आप ये सर्कल में देखोगे तो आई हैव 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8. If I see in this circle, then I'm having 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8, because both are sharing each other's electrons. These electrons are called as the bonding electrons. These electrons are called as the bonding electrons, and these electrons which are not participating in the bond formation are non-bonding electrons. They are what? Non-bonding electrons. So these are the non-bonding electrons, these are the bonding electrons. Did you understand this?
Understood, sir.
Yes.
Yes. So these two chlorine atoms are sharing electrons, they are forming covalent bond. Yehoshua, did you understand this?
Yes, sir.
Yeah,
It's
thank you.
understood.
Yes, so this is covalent bond. Before this we did ionic bond. So the moment you look at the END scale, if you get the value of END, won't you be able to predict? See, if you ask your school teacher something like, sir, END value रहता है, ma'am, END value, they don't even know what's END value. उनको मालूम भी नहीं कि what the hell are you talking about? They'll say that stick to your syllabus, right? But I'm not asking you to stick to your syllabus. I mean, I'm asking you to stick to your syllabus, but go a little extra than your syllabus, because you will have an extra edge, and the understanding, the kind of understanding which you now have about ionic and covalent bond, your classmates and the others are not having that. Okay, so you have got an extra edge over understanding what is the covalent, what is the ionic, right? Ionic bond 1.8 के ऊपर जाता है, the bond formed is ionic bond. अगर 0 के नजदीक है, the bond formed is covalent bond. और अगर center में है, 0.9 है, so the bond formed is polar covalent bond. So ladies and gentlemen, let's head towards polar covalent bond, and it's even more interesting than the covalent and the ionic. So ladies and gentlemen, when I'm talking about polar covalent bond, you see, where is polar covalent bond? Polar covalent bond is exactly in between कोवैलेंट एंड आयनिक. यहाँ पे आयोनिक है, यहाँ पे कोवैलेंट है, उसके बीच में पोलर कोवैलेंट है. So it is in between ionic and covalent. So here what is going to happen is we are going to see both properties of covalent as well as ionic. We're going to see both properties of covalent and ionic in polar covalent bond. So it's a mixture. Now, say for example, you are having milk, and in that milk, a glass of milk, in that milk, I'm adding roux afza syrup. I'm adding roux afza syrup in that milk. Roux afza syrup is red in color. Milk is white in color. The resultant solution which is forming will be dash in color. What will be the
Pink.
color of the resultant solution? It will be pink,
Pink.
isn't it? It will be pink. So pink color क्या है? Pink color is a mixture of red and white. Pink color is nothing but a mixture of red and white. But ये जो pink color मैंने आपको बताया, so in this pink color, you tell me, is it completely red? It's having redness, but is it completely red? It's having redness, but is it completely red?
No, sir.
No. It is having a little bit of whiteness also, but is it completely white?
No.
It's not completely white, it's not completely red, it's intermediate, right? Say for example, you step out of the house. Don't step out of the house, but just for an example, if you step out of the house और वहां पे मैं खड़ा हूं, मैं एक फोटो निकालता हूँ, राइट? 1 फुट आपका घर के बाहर है, 1 फुट घर के अंदर है, उस टाइम पे मैंने फोटो निकाला है. सो उस फोटो में ना आप घर के पूरी तरह से अंदर हो और ना आप घर के पूरी तरह से बाहर हो, आप बीच में हो. यू आर इन ट्रांजिशन. आर यू अंडरस्टैंडिंग? Just like pink color, it's not completely red, it's not completely white, it's pink. Okay, similarly, you're not completely outside the house, you're not completely inside the house, you are in between. Similarly, it's not going to be completely covalent, it's not going to be completely ionic, it's going to be in between. So polar covalent bond will be having some features of covalent bond, and it's going to be having some features of ionic bond as well. So it's going to be a mixture of covalent and ionic. It's not going to be completely covalent, it's not going to be completely ionic, but it's going to be a mixture of covalent and ionic. Are you there? Are you listening to me?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, each one of you.
Yes, sir.
Yes,
Yes, sir.
right. So have a look over here. HCl. So Cl is having an electronegative 3.5 and this is having an electronegative 2.6. So when I find out the END, the END will be equivalent to 3.5 minus 2.6, which is roughly equal to 0.9, right? So 0.9 मतलब हाइड्रोजन और क्लोरीन में जो बॉन्ड होगा उसमें इलेक्ट्रॉन्स शेयर तो होंगे, शेयरिंग तो होगा, but the sharing will be unequal, right? In Cl2, in the previous case, it was like these were sharing the electrons equally. क्योंकि मैंने बोला ना मैं भी रानी तू भी रानी कौन भरेगा घर का पानी, meaning both chlorine atoms were equally electronegative, so they were sharing the electrons equally. None of them was getting a greater share or smaller share. Say for example, Yehoshua and Malaki are two sisters, two twin sisters, and mama gives them an apple. So how will they share that apple? They will share that apple equally because they are twins. So what are they going to do is they're going to cut the apple in such a way that both of them get equal shares, half and half shares, half share to Yehoshua and half share to Malaki. Okay, because they are twins. So inki sharing, abhi orbital diagram draw karu. So orbital diagram will something be like this. So equal sharing for both the Cl and Cl, equal sharing for Cl and Cl. But when I draw orbital diagram for hydrogen and chlorine, it will be like this. Hydrogen is getting the smaller share, chlorine is getting the greater share. क्यों? क्योंकि यहाँ पे अभी अलग है. यहाँ पे Yehoshua is the elder sister and Malaki. Earlier Yehoshua and Malaki were twins. Now Yehoshua is the smaller sister. Sorry, Yehoshua is the elder sister and Malaki is the younger one. तो Yehoshua क्या कर रही है? एप्पल को इस तरीके से कट करी. कहाँ पे गया हमारा एप्पल? हाँ, एप्पल को इस तरीके से कट कर रही है कि both don't get half and half, but here Malaki is getting probably only the chilka and Yehoshua is gulping down the apple. You know why is Yehoshua doing this? Just because to prove that Yehoshua is the elder one, right? She's the elder one. So she can, and mama is asking from behind, did you share the apple? Yes, 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 I've shared the apple. I've given the chilka. See, sharing is not, I mean, mama did not ask equal sharing. So she has shared, but the sharing is not equal. Poor Malaki got this much and Yehoshua gulped down the entire apple. Okay, so that's what is happening in case of HNCl. Malaki, that means hydrogen, got the share. It was sharing of the electrons or sharing of the apple, but it was unequal sharing, right? It was not equal, it was unequal sharing. So unequal sharing is the bottom line for polar covalent bond, equal sharing for covalent bond, transfer of electrons for ionic bond. These are the bottom lines. Okay, so hydrogen is getting the smaller share. That's why it will gain a delta positive charge on its head and chlorine will gain a delta negative charge. क्यों नेगेटिव चार्ज? क्यों? क्योंकि एक्स्ट्रा इलेक्ट्रॉन्स मिल रहा है ना, ज्यादा इलेक्ट्रॉन्स मिल रहा है. ज्यादा इलेक्ट्रॉन्स का मतलब क्या होता है? बोलो ना यार, ज्यादा इलेक्ट्रॉन्स मतलब नेगेटिव चार्ज. Greater share of electrons meaning electrons are negatively charged. So this one will gain a greater delta negative charge and this one will gain a greater delta positive charge. Due to which, बोलो ना यार, due to which the sharing becomes unequal and there is development of charges. देखना कोवैलेंट बॉन्ड में कभी भी चार्जेस नहीं आए थे. कोवैलेंट बॉन्ड में चार्जेस आए थे क्या? Cl Cl, यहाँ पे भी हम लोग ने देखा Cl Cl, चार्जेस आए थे क्या? नहीं. चार्जेस इज अ फीचर ऑफ आयनिक बॉन्ड. आयनिक बॉन्ड देखो कहाँ पे गया हमारा NaCl, तो Na प्लस और Cl माइनस पहले भी देखा था, तो इसमें चार्जेस इन्वॉल्व थे. तो चार्जेस इज अ फीचर ऑफ आयनिक बॉन्ड जो कि पोलर कोवैलेंट बॉन्ड में अभी आ रहा है. पोलर कोवैलेंट बॉन्ड में ये फीचर आ रहा है, मतलब ये जो चार्जेस का जो फीचर है डेल्टा पॉजिटिव डेल्टा नेगेटिव, ये चार्जेस का फीचर दिस इज कमिंग फ्रॉम आयोनिक, और इलेक्ट्रॉन शेयर हो रहे हैं लेकिन अनइक्वली शेयर हो रहे हैं, तो शेयरिंग का जो फीचर दैट इज फ्रॉम कोवैलेंट। तो स्टार्टिंग में मैंने क्या बताया था आपको कि इट इज अ कॉम्बिनेशन ऑफ आयोनिक एज वेल एज कोवैलेंट, आयोनिक भी है कोवैलेंट भी है, ठीक है। आयोनिक इसके लिए क्योंकि इसमें चार्जेस भी पूरी तरह से आयोनिक नहीं है, स्लाइट चार्जेस, इसके लिए आयोनिक जैसा है, और इलेक्ट्रॉन शेयर कर रहा है इसके लिए कोवैलेंट जैसा है, इसके लिए इसका नाम हो गया पीसीबी, पोलर कोवैलेंट बॉन्ड, जहां पे पी का मीनिंग होता है, पी का मीनिंग क्या होता है, पी का मीनिंग इज पोलर, पोलर मीनिंग चार्जेस, सो चार्जेस आ गए, कोवैलेंट मीनिंग शेयरिंग, सो शेयरिंग भी हो रहा है, चार्जेस भी आ रहे हैं, दैट्स व्हाई इट इज पोलर कोवैलेंट बॉन्ड। It's like pink color, it's not completely red and it's not completely white, it's intermediate between red and white. Got it till here?
Yes,
Yes.
Yeah, has it been nailed into your heads, each one of you?
sir. Yes, sir.
Sir.
Only Rishabh is speaking, what about the others?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, what about
Sir.
Gargi, Ishan, Krishita? Krishita, are you understanding? Krishita,
Yes, sir.
Mayank, Mohit, Rajvardhan, Reva,
Yes, sir.
Riddhi, Saloni, Saukhya,
Yes, sir.
Tanisha, Yehoshua.
Understood.
Yeah, are you understanding all this?
Sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Sir, today Om Jena is absent.
Om Jena, that's why we are recording the session. He has another, I think, Hindi class or something. So I told him I'll record the session and send it to you. But
Okay,
Om
sir.
is of a next level guy. Okay. Yeah. Okay. So did you understand what we have done till here?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Okay. So here is our three bonds. Which three? Ionic, covalent, and polar covalent. Fourth one is remaining. Which is the fourth one? Fourth one is coordinate bond. What is the fourth one? Fourth one is coordinate bond. So, Yehoshua, is it becoming an overdose for you? Is it going a little above your head? Is it becoming an overdose for you?
A little, but I'm understanding. It's easy.
Yeah. Are you like, what is all this? What the hell is all this? I don't know this. It's completely
No.
alien to you, or you are slightly understanding things. I mean, on the better
No.
side.
Yes, I'm
Understanding it?
understanding. Yes.
Yeah. So maybe because it's your first class, Krishita and Yoshua, I'm a little worried for y'all because y'all have missed out. See, I don't start like this. I start with the very basics. So what is atom, ion, molecule, element? What you have learned in your lower classes, like 7th, 8th, 9th mein jo pada hai. Like we start with your lower classes like atom, electron, ion, molecule, compound, all these basics we have done. We have done radicals, we have done reactions, we have done compounds, we have done a little bit of reactions, and now we are moving on to the bonding between the radicals. So it has gone step by step. Only thing you all have missed out a little, but nevertheless I have taken care that you should also understand. So I believe Krishita, you are also understanding. Can I hear from you once again?
Yes,
Krishita?
sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah. Yes. So let's move on to a coordinate bond. अभी ये भी बहुत मजेदार है, राइट? इसमें हम लोग यहोशुआ का भी बहुत बार एग्जांपल ले लिया, अभी कृषिता का एग्जांपल लेते हैं. कृषिता, टेल मी योर बेस्ट फ्रेंड्स नेम. Krishita, no best friend for Krishita, or should I take an imaginary name?
So you can take any name.
Yeah. Okay. So let's take Krishita and Yehoshua. They are the best friends. Okay. So Krishita and Yehoshua, they go for a cup of coffee, right? They meet probably one of the evenings over a cup of coffee, and because they are the best of friends, what do? They buy only one cup. Okay, don't bother my diagrams, they are pitiable. Okay, so they bring in a cup of coffee, and Krishita consumes half of the coffee, and Yehoshua consumes another half of the coffee. The coffee was for 40 rupees, so Krishita paid 20 rupees and Yehoshua paid 20 rupees. Which kind of bond is this? Only Krishita will answer. Which kind of bond is this?
Covalent.
Yes,
Covalent.
can't hear you. It is
Covalent
covalent.
bond.
Right, it is covalent bond. Right, next day again Krishita and Yehoshua go for another cup of coffee, and again they consume half and half. Right, but what happens is Yehoshua forgets the money at home. Unfortunately, she forgets the money at home, and then Krishita had to pay her 20 plus Yehoshua's 20, so she paid a total of 40, whereas Yehoshua paid 0. Yehoshua paid 0, but she still received half of the coffee. Even though she paid 0, she received half of the coffee, and uh, the other half was consumed by Krishita, but she paid the full amount, that is 40. So this kind of bond is coordinate bond. Now let me give you an example. This was, just keep this example at the back of your mind and see the reaction which I'm about to show you. Here we are having ammonia. Ammonia is NH3, Yehoshua. Okay, NH3, wherein nitrogen is having an atomic number of 7 with the electronic configuration 2,5. Yes, I hope last time I'd made you all write first 20 elements. And as Krishita and Yehoshua were not there, this is going to be your homework for today. You're going to revise whatever we're going to do right now. I mean, we have done up till right now. And you are also going to write down the first 20 elements. First 20 elements, unka atomic number, unka electronic configuration, unki valency. I repeat. First 20 elements: hydrogen, helium, lithium, beryllium, boron, carbon, nitrogen, oxygen, chlorine, all those like this up to calcium, right? First 20 elements you'll write. Then you'll write their atomic numbers. After you write the atomic numbers, you'll write their electronic configuration. And after you write the electronic configuration, you're going to write their valencies. And once you write the valencies, you're going to draw these atoms like hydrogen, helium, lithium, beryllium. You're going to draw these atoms. Okay, you're going to draw the atomic structure of first 20 elements. Okay, is that clear to you?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, you have to draw all this, do all this, take a screenshot, take a photograph of what you have done, make a PDF and send it to me. So nitrogen, atomic number 7, electronic configuration 2,5, where nitrogen is having, you can see 5 electrons in the outermost shell, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Right, 2 electrons are the lone pair of electrons. Hydrogen, obviously, it's having just 1 electron in the outermost shell. Right, so we are reacting it this with HCl, H plus Cl minus. Now, which bond has been formed between this nitrogen and hydrogen? Which is this bond? Which are all these bonds? All these bonds are covalent bonds. Yes or yes? All of them are covalent bonds. Why? Because one electron is being shared from hydrogen, one is being shared from nitrogen, and it's equal sharing. And as it is equal sharing, the bond formed is a covalent bond. अब ये जो लोन पेयर ऑफ इलेक्ट्रॉन्स है उड़ के आ जाते हैं हाइड्रोजन पे, राइट? क्यों? क्योंकि हाइड्रोजन बोल रहा है यार इसने जैसा बॉन्ड फॉर्म किया वैसा मेरे को भी करना है, बट प्रॉब्लम ये है कि हाइड्रोजन उसका एक इलेक्ट्रॉन था वो देके बैठा है क्लोरीन को, हाइड्रोजन के पास 0 इलेक्ट्रॉन है, हाइड्रोजन के पास एक भी इलेक्ट्रॉन यहाँ पर नहीं है, इट इज हैविंग 0 इलेक्ट्रॉन्स. सो नाइट्रोजन बोलता है चलो कोई बात नहीं यार तू आजा मैं तेरे को दे देता हूँ इलेक्ट्रॉन, एंड व्हेन नाइट्रोजन गिव्स द इलेक्ट्रॉन we form a bond which is called as, we form a compound which is called as NH4Cl, and this bond which is being formed over here, it's very unique and different because यहाँ पे दोनों इलेक्ट्रॉन नाइट्रोजन के ही है, and that's why this forms a coordinate bond or a dative bond. On this chapter, dative bond or coordinate bond, you have an entire chapter, मतलब सिर्फ coordinate bond पे ये जो concept है coordinate bond पे इसके ऊपर entire chapter है in your 12th standard. Okay, coordinate bond or dative bond. If you come to me in the 12th, I'll teach you that as well, right? So this is what NH4 plus, NH4 plus and Cl minus, NH4 plus and Cl minus. Okay, so these were the covalent bonds because इसमें एक इलेक्ट्रॉन नाइट्रोजन का, एक हाइड्रोजन का, एक नाइट्रोजन का, एक हाइड्रोजन का, राइट? बट हाइड्रोजन पैसे लाने के लिए भूल गया था यहोशुआ के जैसे, तो दोनों किसने भरे, दोनों इलेक्ट्रॉन्स किसने दिए, नाइट्रोजन ने दिए कृषिता के जैसे, राइट? सो बोथ इलेक्ट्रॉन्स आर बीइंग कंट्रीब्यूटेड बाय नाइट्रोजन बट बोथ आर शेयरिंग हाफ हाफ, क्योंकि कोवेलेंट क्या रहता है, शेयरिंग रहता है, तो बोथ आर शेयरिंग हाफ हाफ, बट द इलेक्ट्रॉन्स आर बीइंग पेड बाय नाइट्रोजन ओनली, सो इट इज अ कोऑर्डिनेट बॉन्ड और अ डेटिव बॉन्ड. Therefore, it is a coordinate bond or a dative bond. आ रहा है क्या समझ में?
आ रहा है समझ
Yes,
में.
sir.
Yeah.
Yes.
So this is what ammonium chloride. It is not called as ammonia anymore. It will become ammonium chloride, and the bond formed. This bond is coordinate. The remaining were covalent and are covalent. Okay, the remaining are. Sir, एक second ना, मैं आप ले लीजिए. हाँ. जी. Okay. So this is what ammonium chloride. Understood? This is coordinate bond. Today we have finished with your second chapter, that is your chemical bonding. Last time से लेके अब तक last के दो lectures, आज का एक lectures, last के दो lectures were introductory, explaining all the basics to you. आपके textbook में क्या है, थोड़ा extra है. Extra in the sense there is going to be some few points extra, like the examples will be extra. Covalent bond के examples ज़्यादा है, ionic bond के examples ज़्यादा. But I have drilled in the concept into your heads. Plus, I have gone in an extra mile related to END. END is not there, but I've taught that to you. Okay, so I hope you have enjoyed and understood the entire session crystal clear.
Yes, sir.
Yes,
Yes,
each one of you. Yes. So
Yes, sir.
let me now sign off for today, because I have other children waiting. I have to go in the other room. We have our 11th standard children waiting on the other meeting. So our other maths teacher is done. Yeah, so today's class was joyful, says Anushka. Yeah, it's always joyful, Anushka, don't worry. Okay, so it's the only thing that you had missed this kind of session, the introductory session, the point where you joined. So definitely, I mean, I hope there is a paradigm shift in the way you learn, and all the best to you all. I think you all will pura matlab board phad doge. Definitely you will score 95, 98, whatever your dream score is. I completely believe in you all, right? If you are sincerely, understanding, noting down, I mean, sky is the limit for you. Nobody can stop you. Just give in a little bit of extra efforts, give an extra effort on solving, and nobody can stop you from scoring above 95 in your board exams. That's my word. I can vouch for it. Okay. So I'll just end this meeting, because now this is the second reminder which is coming for me. So I'll end it. Good evening and thank you, all of you.
Thank you, sir. Have a good
Thank
day
you,
ahead.
sir.
Have a nice day, sir.
Yeah, welcome. And send the recording. Hello, that girl, stop the recording and send it to me.
Yes, sir.
Oh, who's that girl? I forgot